Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me on the first in the series of the Tea and Tarot session. So this is a little weekly thing I'm going to do, and we'll be looking at tutorials, tarot tutorials. Now, normally when I come on here, we do live, don't we? We look at all the cards for the day, the moon for the day, but this new session will probably be around about the same time each Sunday. Although it won't be next week because it's Father's Day. That's the beauty of this. I can just come and go as I please. But I will let you know. It will get more frequent as the weeks go on. So do drop us a hello to see who's there. If you've got any questions, you can absolutely ask me questions. But we're going to be looking at the Fool's Journey. And that starts with all the major cards. So this is your first tarot tutorial going on learning the cards. So there's a Fool's Journey. The major arcana, which are these cards here, like the bigger pictures there. The bigger pictures. Now these resonate with big events going on in your life. Something that's going to have an impact. Something that's going to be part of your life journey, if you like, there. The minor cards are more day-to-day things. They've got a bit more free will, if you like. They've got a bit more flexibility around them, or they can show the area that this big idea is going to be happening in. But the major cards start off our life's journey, and it's a metaphor really for everything that we go through in our lives. So we're going to start off. I'm going to read to you what I've wrote here, what I've already wrote on the Fool's Journey. If you've already completed my tarot course, you will be familiar with what I'm talking about. So we start off with the Fool. So the Fool's Journey, it shows the journey through our life, each steps that we experience, each steps that we go through, and almost like they're acted out throughout the 22 major arcana cards. So life experiences is acted out through these cards there. So we start our journey as the Fool, which is number 0 in the deck. Naive, young, immature, he steps out on his life's path. A new beginning, he has an innocence in his soul and a vest for life. A newborn, we have the choice of our new steps, our new chapter. The Fool is ready to embrace his adventure. As a 0 number, neither a positive or a negative, but full of empty promises or full of naivety, full of interesting things that we're unaware of, full of excitement of what is to come. From the Fool, we set out as the Magician. So the Magician sets out our journey, and then the Fool sets out on his journey. And here he is, and he connects to the Magician next, which is number 1. Now the Magician is a masculine influence here, represents action, manifestation, raw power, power of impulse, power of creative force or creative awareness there. So the Magician shows the Fool that he has all he needs to manifest his life's desires. On his next little journey, he encounters the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is the feminine. The Magician is the masculine, the High Priestess is the feminine. And the feminine element that comes into manifestations and what it is that you want to achieve there. Brings in the balance, it's number 2, it brings in the balance. That masculine and feminine, that light and dark, bringing in the balance of every energy there. She represents our subconscious, whereas the Magician is our conscious mind. So our subconscious connects to our intuition, our raw power inside, and our gut feeling. So the Fool must learn to trust his own feelings, to understand his unrealised potential and the mysterious side within him. The Fool needs the nurturing comfort of his mother in the Empress. He comes into contact with his surroundings from Mother Earth. Both are needed to provide nurture, love, and a warm, safe place to grow. The Empress influences our senses, our taste, our smell, our feelings, love. It is love with feeling, and everything that is abundant, everything that is warm and comfortable within us. After the love and nurture from his mother, the Fool encounters his father in the Emperor. His father gives him the security and structure he will need on his journey. It sets his boundaries throughout his life. He learns that rules and regulations are important, and the presence of the emperor in an authoritative influence, firm but fair. While sometimes he can find this frustrating, he knows the discipline and patience will serve him well. The fool continues his journey and leaves the comfort and security of his nest. He encounters the Hierophant. He ventures out into the world. This is like story time. He ventures out into the world and comes into contact with different belief systems, religions or traditions. He starts to learn his own belief structure, educating himself with organised belief systems that feel comfortable to him. He is open to being educated and initiated. He understands the importance of groups and has a new sense of belonging. He is happy to conform to the rules and regulations offered to him now. Good evening, Amanda. Good evening, Zara. Good evening, Maureen. Good evening, Caroline. Oh, you like my top? Thank you. Good evening, Shona. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Nikki. Some of you won't be able to share because I've put this into a private group so that we keep it all private. Yes, Shona, are you sitting comfortably? So he understands the importance of groups and he has a new sense of belonging. He's happy to conform to rules and regulations. As he moves on, the fool experiences lust and emotion for others as well. The lover appears when he realises he has grown from being self-centred and now appreciates his love for his fellow man. He acknowledges his sexual side and the need to be in a loving relationship. The fool is now entering adulthood in the Chariot. He is aware of his identity and appears to be in control of his actions. In the Chariot, he has come so far in his life. Discipline and willpower have seen him overcome struggles and stay focused on his journey. He must remember to applaud himself for his victory over adversity and continue to push forward to reach his goals, despite there being distractions. As life moves on, the fool faces challenges that may see him fall from grace to find inner strength or to overcome obstacles. Here in the Strength card, it shows his need to understand that love wins over hate, and his courage and strength determine the person he will become. A gentle approach is now needed to win over others, drawing upon his tact, and by being patient, he will be his best options if he is to remain in control. With such an emotional time of late, the fool is in need of some time alone. The hermit gives him the time to contemplate his next move, to reassess his journey and to find inner peace for himself. He has many inner questions that can only be answered with quiet and reflection to find his deeper truth. A time of solitude is required. The fool has spent time self-reflecting, soul-searching, and now he can see that we are all connected and everything has a beginning, middle and end. He understands the karmic pattern of life, transitions and cycles. He realises his destiny in the wheel of fortune. This holds his fortune. His luck can change at any time. The situation can move. The realisation of this allows him to go with the flow and be open to movement and change. Morning, Sheila, or evening, Sheila. I'm so used to saying it there. Sheila, I'm not doing any readings. We're going through tutorials of the full journey. Another milestone is reached in the justice. The fool must learn to be accountable for his actions. He is to face the cause and effect his decisions have on himself and others. He must take his personal responsibility for all he has done and find balance and harmony for the past. He sees that justice is served and that the truth will set him free if he is to continue to grow. The fool makes his peace and continues his journey. These latest realizations cause the fool to face his personal life cross. He will need to hang around and give careful thought to what will be needed and to shake things up or to let things go. He must surrender and sacrifice all he knows in order to grow more and to see things differently now. His pause will cause him to feel suspended momentarily, leaving him to feel vulnerable and tired. But to push on, he must make a choice or fear being left behind. The four choices have left him to face change. A death of his old self cuts away, releasing him from what no longer serves. He understands his needs have changed now. He must let go of the past and be open to a new dawn. This transition is a positive sign of a rebirth and regeneration, a welcome relief from being stuck and motionless. The journey continues and his patience has certainly been tested. He has swung back and forth, facing huge sacrifices and change, and now realises that he needs the balance. In temperance, bringing harmony and stability back to the Fool, he starts to feel once again centred and can see his vision clearly once more. He understands for a healthy lifestyle he needs all things in perfect balance and harmony with each other. All is well, or so we thought. Hidden beneath the devil, this tempts us into temptation in ways that are forbidden. He is not evil, but shows us our shadow side, a side we all have residing within us. At times he comes to the surface, reminding us of our material greed or ignorance. He appears when we are a slave to something that controls our emotions, seducing us into the false hopes with fear and despair. The Fool must learn to overcome this compelling pull and be reminded that he always has his choice. The Fool cannot fight the power of such force that the devil holds. The only way to break free from his chains is to cause such a destruction and chaos that this leaves everything broken down but also ready to start again. The Fool erupts the tower's power and releases the grasp the devil has over him, in the process destroying all he has built up, but he is free. Sometimes we all need such a shock to break poor habits, to show that what we thought our life was built on was in fact not strong enough to hold our future. The tower movement holds no prisoners. The crown seen tumbling down shows us that no one can escape such change. The Fool is feeling reborn. It only has himself left and hope. Confused with such destruction, the only way forward is a sparkle of light from the star. The star shines his light in the future, and the Fool can see a glimmer of hope being restored, and knows that he can rebuild his life much more stronger than before. He is optimistic and receives inspiration to continue. The star brings a calm and serene influence. The Fool feels blessed that there is light after such darkness. The Fool has new hopes and ideas, but the moon has other emotions that he will need to bear. In his blissful state, the moon creeps up on him. He realises his dreams are fantastical. He's been subject to much illusion and far-fetched imagination. His dreams are not as tangible as he had first hoped. However, this phase will pass too, and he will soon see further clarity. The moon will shine upon the disillusioned desires and show the reality that he can then move from. The sun encourages this illumination, shining in all the areas that can now bring much joy and happiness to the Fool. It burns away the hidden facts from the moon and allows the Fool to embrace a newfound freedom and fulfillment. A new day has been born, and with it the Fool can seek out this playful side. His inner child, he can rejoice in his inner child and fun once again. In his awakened state, the Fool is now in a position of judgment. He is true to himself and can accept the calling of his true destiny. Reawakened, he forgives others and himself from such challenges, and he can now see the bigger picture and what his journey had been for. He knows that in order to be true to his calling, he must release all judgment of his past and his present and of those around him. As the Fool finds himself at the centre of the completed journey, a whole new world opens up before him. He feels complete and fulfilled. He can rest assured that he has attained what he has set out for, and the cycle now forms a new chapter. In perfect balance, he can now step forward into this new world, knowing that he has a wealth of knowledge and experience to take with him. He may start out once again as the fool, but this time with more confidence as he embarks on this new chapter. He understands a cycle is at its completed phase and feels satisfied and content, confidently moving forward into his new life. And there you have it. There you have the Fool's Journey. So you can ask me questions about that if you want. The Fool's Journey, like I said at the beginning, is a metaphor for the journey of life. So in the tarot, when we have one of these cards, understanding the Fool's Journey, understanding at what part in the Fool's Journey it might have fallen in, can help you determine where they are in their reading. So, for example, if you get the Fool in the reading, you know that they're at the beginning of something. You know that they're starting something new. You know that they've got a new chapter or a new venture, and they may be a bit naive about it. If they get the World, you know that they've come through a whole chapter. They've gone through from that 1 or 0 to 21, and they've experienced everything through the life's journey in order to get to that. If they have the Chariot, I've gone to the Wheel of Fortune. If they have the Wheel of Fortune, you know it's number 10. You know that they're halfway through a phase. They're not at the beginning, but they're also not at the end of a chapter. So they've got the chance for some change within that. So understanding the Fool's Journey and what impact it has and how they all lay out can really help you understand where they are, where your client is, or where you are if you do your own readings there. So, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to shout out there? Those that are asking for cards, if you read the little bit at the beginning, you'll see that this is a tutorial, not a live card reading. So it is a tutorial on the Fool's Journey. Some of the cards that people ask about is obviously the Death card is one of them. That's one of the cards that people get a bit stuck on. Let me just find the Death card there. And I have done a whole video on the Death card, which I will post up this week. So sometimes people fear the Death card, you know, they see the Grim Reaper, if you like, there, and they think, oh shit, someone's going to die. Not always. Sometimes, maybe, that could be life, but not always. Most of the time, the Death card is an ending to a situation. Some people see it and will say, oh, there's a new beginning. And while, yes, there will be a new beginning, if it was just a new beginning, you would be getting the Fool card, because that talks about new beginning, but you haven't. You've got the Death card. So you've got to talk about an ending. It's really important that you acknowledge the ending of some kind, that you don't just talk about the beginning, that you talk about the ending. Otherwise, you're missing the point. You might as well have got the Fool card there. So it's important that you acknowledge things. But more often than not, the Death card is some kind of change coming in for you, some kind of ending for you that's going to allow a new beginning there. But you do have to acknowledge it there. What's got more input in? Love the Wheel denotes half a journey, halfway through whatever the situation is. Thank you. Yes. It's number 10. So numerology plays a part in tarot. You know, the Kabbalah, astrology, numerology, the whole shebang there. The whole shebang. So it's important, I think, that you get to know, if you want to do a good reading for someone, that you get to know the full Monty of it all. So where's my Wheel of Fortune? I don't know where he's gone now. I had him a second ago. What did I do with him? So the Wheel of Fortune is number 10. So 21 cards, 22 major cards. So this would be bang in the middle. And the Wheel of Fortune, although it's a destiny card and it's the fortune card, so it is signalling luck, it is signalling, fortune. It also says that what's gone down must go up and what goes up must go down. So it's ebbs and flows of life. It's all about a balance there. It's all about changes coming in, but it's an action card. So it indicates these change, you need to action them. And if you don't action them, then the universe will do something in place and it will maybe put you in that change and you might not like it so much there. It will take you where you need to go, but sometimes if you don't like change, it might be a rocky ride. But the Wheel of Fortune says that things are moving into where you need to be. Destiny is going to play a part of taking you where you need to go. It's a milestone card. You're in the middle now of your life's chapter or whatever's going on in that particular moment, that situation, and now things can take a turn for the better. Sharon has put, so the Death card is change, but is the Tower also change? Yes. So there's a few change cards, like there's a few positive cards, there's a few change cards. So the Tower, the Death card for me usually comes in when it's something that's coming to an end. The Tower doesn't necessarily mean an ending, but it means a shake-up. Now that may involve an ending, but it could also be just a shake-up of some kind there. So it could be an accident that's happened out of the blue that's caused a bit of chaos, but it doesn't mean to say it's an ending, just means it's a chaos. So the Death card would be more like the ending there. The Tower card comes in where things have, the foundation isn't good, your foundation isn't strong enough. So it's saying we're going to rock things about, and quite often if you get the Wheel of Fortune and you don't do anything, then the Tower card will come in and the universe will say, well, we gave you the warning, we told you to shake things up, and if you don't, we're going to do it for you. So the Tower card comes in and says, yeah, we're going to shake things up, but it may be huge for somebody. Your personality is going to take a bit of, oh, I'm hot now, I'm going to open the door, but the kids are, hold on a minute, the kids are there. Down, off. I got the kids in the pool and I wanted to keep the door quiet, but it's too hot. So yeah, the Tower card is an upheaval, is a change. If you're a star sign or a personality that can cope really well with change, it's like Scorpios, they're ruled by the Death card, so they not that they embrace it, but they're comfortable with change. Myself, a Taurus, a fixed sign, they're not very good with change. So for me, the Tower is going to feel a lot more chaotic, a lot more challenging than what it could for someone else that likes change there. It could be as simple as a house move. You know, that chaos that a house move brings. It really could, it doesn't have to be something destructive, something terrible. It could just mean there's chaos going on around you. You know, more often than not, it is a little bit destructive there, but you know, it doesn't always have to be. And the good news with the Tower is it's usually got a silver lining. So the Tower brings, although everything crumbles down, although everything gets taken right down to basics, you're then in a good position to be able to rebuild it and build it a lot firmer and build it a lot stronger. There. Ollie, turn that off now. Bloody children. So the Tower card is going to be more, going to shake up more for you if you're finding things a little bit difficult for change there. A lot depends on cards surrounding. Yes, so Maureen says a lot. So if you've got the Tower card, but you've got perhaps the Chariot after it, or you've got the Star after it, or perhaps even the Wheel of Fortune, or the Sun, it weakens it. It weakens it. So depending on what is around it, and depending on your spread, it can, you know, some people have different layouts for their spreads. It can weaken that vibe there. If you've got the Devil, if you've got the Death card, if you've got some cards, maybe the Ten of Swords, some other cards there that are quite challenging, shall we say, then it's going to make it stronger. So it probably is going to be something that's going to be a little bit disruptive in your life. But I've known it to be just house moves, you know, the chaos of house moves. I have known it to be that. And I've known it to come in quick and to go quick as well. It doesn't have to hang around. But what it does do, it says nobody is free from it. In the picture you can see the king and the queen, they've got the crowns, and that crown is signified that nobody, no colour, creed, race or any kind, can escape such change. It happens to everyone, you know. Somebody else put something there. What did they put? I hate change. Yes, Caroline, yes, I'm not good. I'm not good with it there. I'm all right once it comes to the other side. Maureen, death is a transition from one phase to another. The Tower, change can be forced when change is not being recognised. Yes, yeah, in a nutshell, yeah. I've seen some people say, oh, the Death card, oh, you've got new beginnings, but I think it's so important that you say, the Death card is endings, it's an ending card. You have to acknowledge it there. Zara, what if some things can't be expected? What if some things can't be expected? What do you mean by that, Zara? Not sure. What, like a surprise, you mean? Like a surprise shock or a surprise change? Is that what you mean? If things aren't expected, then it's going to probably come under the Tower if it's got some upheaval or some shake-up. The Death card can bring news of endings that may be a little bit of a surprise, but quite often there's a little hint somewhere in your life that you know that there's an ending coming, or that, yeah, I could just feel that vibe. You know, for me, the Death card doesn't always come as a out the blue surprise, although some people do have it that. For me, it doesn't. But the Tower can come as a bit more, oh, I've got a Tower moment, got a bit more of an uphill, a bit more of a surprise coming there. But like I said, the Tower doesn't have to be so bad. The other card that some people get a bit heebie-jeebies with is the Devil card. Now, like I said in the Fool's Journey, he doesn't have to be like the devil, it doesn't have to be negative influence there. The devil is something that we all got inside us. He's our shadow side. He's the side of us that we have buried, the side of us that we don't want to admit to people, the side of us that takes us down maybe a little bit of a slippery slope pathway, the temptation side. And you can see in the Devil card here, the people, they're half human, half devil. They're starting to morph into him. The chains around the neck look a little bit daunting, but if you look closely, they're not tied, which means you've got choice. And the fact that they're not completely morphed into the devil means that they've got choice. They're not completely taken in by him. So when the Devil card comes up, it's similar to the Lovers card, but there's choices with it there. You know, and everything is about choice, isn't it? We might think, wow, might do the blame game. Oh, it's their fault. It's their, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that. But actually you can. You might just not want to do it. It's all down to your choice. Even if you're saying, well, I can't do this because of that person. Well, you're allowing that person to have that control over you. So the Devil card has got an element of control. It's ruled by Capricorn, and they can be known for being a bit controlling there. So there's an element of being of having control or being controlled, having your hands tied. Depends again where it sits in your spread. If it's in your sex life area, it could be a bit of kinky sex going on, but you might have to have some safe words, some boundaries put in. And again, the cards around it could weaken it or strengthen it there. But the Devil card for me brings about choices. Choices of, do I go down that slippery road? I know what's good for me, I know what's not. You know, addictions, obsessions, something that could take control over you in your material world. You could be just obsessing about money, obsessing about job, and something that's got an unhealthy relationship. That's where the Devil comes up. Something that would be of an unhealthy relationship in your life, but you've got choice with it. You've got change with it there. So, is there any other cards that anyone wants me to go through there? Zara, thanks. Kate, you're really good at your job. Thank you. Raj, you're going through a bit of a Tower moment at the moment. You know, if you are going through a bit of a Tower moment, rest assured that it won't be forever. You'll have a silver lining. The good thing I like about Tower moments is that, and I'm a Taurus, so I'm a builder, is that you can rebuild it how you want it. You can make it better. You can pick yourself back up from it. Again, you've always got choice around things, how you deal with things, how you accept things, how you're going to deal with it is down to you. Can't change what other people do, but you can change your own stuff, can't you? So if you are having a bit of a Tower moment, then think about how you can rebuild that thing stronger. That's what you've got to do. Take a bit of responsibility. Personal responsibility, we'll talk about that. That comes in with the Justice card. Now again, I've seen people say, oh, the Justice card, yep, I'm going to win. Oh, it's right in front of me. The Justice card, that means I'm on to a winner, I'm going to win. Not necessarily. Doesn't necessarily mean win or lose. What the Justice card says is that there is going to be accountability for actions. So balance and law and order. Now there could be legal things going on, there could be important documents going on, could be house moves going on, divorces, there may be situations that have got that legal side to it. But also it talks about that accountability of your actions and holding your hand up if you've done something wrong, holding your hand up and the judgment of, you know, the God is your judgment, if you like, saying, okay, you've held your hand up, you said you've done wrong, so therefore you'll be treated a little bit more fairly. But if you've been doing wrong, you know you've been doing wrong, then the world, the universe is going to hold you accountable to that if you can't hold yourself accountable to it. So, you know, the universe will have that vibration around you that what you give out, you'll get back. So it's not necessarily, I've got the justice, I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm going to win. It's not that at all. It really does say that accountability is going to be the truth leader, really. It is a very truthful card here. What's shown up? Can you remind me the difference between the Empress and the High Priestess, please? Oh, there's quite a lot of difference between the two. So the High Priestess is your intuition. Your High Priestess is your gut feeling, your knowing, and it indicates, oh, I went there. It indicates there, where is the High Priestess? Where's my High Priestess? The High Priestess indicates that there may be something unknown going on. Maybe there's something a little bit hidden going on, or something that you're just getting that vibe really to say, oh, my intuition is saying something. So you've got all the answers within. It's about intuition. You could be seeking a spiritual teacher, could be going to see a psychic or a medium when this card comes up, or perhaps have the influence of spiritual awareness, spiritual learning. And the Empress is mum. The Empress is all to do with mum, Mother Nature, abundance, growth, and nurturing element. Could be pregnancies, it could be fertile, could be fertile ground, or that you've got a new idea that's fertile. Something is weak and ready. Something is fertile, ready for growth there. Nurturing, spending time in Mother Nature. As a health card, it would be like eating healthily, green veg, rooted vegetables there. Perhaps looking at your diet and lifestyle. But she's nice and comfortable, ruled by Venus there. So comfortable, loving vibe card, but abundant and nurturing there. What did Maureen just put there? Would you see the Moon card linked to... Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Moon card is linked to the subconscious. Definitely. The Moon card and the High Priestess will be linked to, say, the High Priestess is your subconscious. The Magician is your conscious mind. So you've got yin and yang there. The Moon is your subconscious and the Sun is your conscious. So a lot of the cards, you've got the yin and yang, and you've also got a major card that connects to each minor card. So you've got like a buddy there. But the Sun is your conscious mind and the Moon is your subconscious. It's your hidden influence. And again, your intuition and your moon phases. You know, just like the moon has a phase, so does this card. So it'll be like over 28 days there could be something. There's a cycle, 28-day changeable cycle. And in the image you can see there you've got a full moon and a half moon, so it's changeable. The moon is changeable. You've got friend or foe with the animals in the picture. The crayfish, is he coming out, is he not? There's an air of illusion with the moon, but your subconscious definitely, and the Sun card, your conscious mind, masculine and feminine. Pauline White, is there a relationship card? Yes, the Lovers. The Lovers is the relationship card, ruled by Gemini. Ruled by Gemini, all about communication. Mercury coming in with Gemini there, but yes, the Lovers. It's a stronger card than the Two of Cups. If you're single and this card comes up, usually it does indicate that somebody's coming in, a meeting of minds, so a real physical, mental, emotional connection. If you're in a relationship, it can mean that it's going to go to the next step, perhaps living together, and more commitment coming in, or it can mean that there's choices again, because it's ruled by Gemini and Mercury of communication. You've got the choices link coming in there. So again, similar to the Devil, but the Devil's got like the dodgy side of the temptation, and this side has got the communication side of the temptation, but it is still there. So yes, relationships from one form or another there. Let me just have a look. Where's that? Zara, what if someone is blaming you and you have not done anything? Well, as God is your witness, you'll be good then, won't you? You know, you have to trust in the bigger picture. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but you just have to trust that actually, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. That whatever happens is meant to happen, the law of the universe, blah, blah, blah. You know, if they keep on blaming you, and if you want, you can make a statement, put it out there, it wasn't me, whatever it was. If not, just they'll end up getting bored of it eventually. If it is something legal there and you've got things to back you up, you know, you might have to get some real legal advice there, or get some help and support. But the higher good, that God is your witness, I believe, that all is seen anyway, and the truth will always come out at some point or another. But it's not always how we see it as humans, as in our human life. There's a bigger picture to things. Makes it easier. Yes, the Two of Cups is a weaker one, Pauline, in the card. The Two of Cups is the beginning of a new relationship, two people coming together. It could be a business where you're on the same page as somebody, or where you've got a meeting of minds. And then the Lovers is a stronger connection. It's taking it a bit further, a bit more longer, a bit more commitment there. Manda, the Hierophant, always gets stuck with that one. So the Hierophant, yeah, it took me a little while to figure the Hierophant out. So the Hierophant is, there's a few different meanings for the Hierophant, and that's why I think she gets a little bit of a bad press. In some decks, they're known as the Pope. Now the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus. Taurus is like tradition. Oh, a house full of children. Taurus is like tradition, and they like rules and regulations. So if you know a Taurus, then try and think of some of their personality that can connect with this card. This card is about conformity, following rules, regulations and order. Now if this card comes up after the Tower, it's fabulous, because it says that order will resume, normality, whatever that is, will resume. There will be some order coming in. It can be groups and organisations and have a very spiritual connection with it. So it could be that you're looking at joining a group or being part of something, belonging to some organisation, but an organisation that you will be following rules and regulations and order, something that you will be having to conform to there. So there's conformity coming in here. It's linked to the Pope, it's linked to religion, tradition, so marriage, or what do they call it, arranged marriages. Sometimes I've had this when I've seen people in different countries, arranged marriages will come up with this, but following rules and regulations. You can see here the bold heads that they've got. It's them opening themselves up to God or to the service. It's their way of saying we are giving our souls over to you. And the Hierophant in there is saying, I will ordain you, follow my rules, follow me, and all will be well. Everything will be calm in it. Think of it as kind of like a monk's card, if you like, where they release their human life, or they release part of their life to go and follow one style of religion there. But equally it can be groups and being part of an organisation. It's come up loads when people have started courses, especially the tarot course, and at the beginning of their journey then we look at the cards, because at the end of each session that we'll do their cards, and quite often this card will come up and you're like, well, you just joined as a new psychic group. So it can be bringing things together there, but it's order, conformity, following rules and regulations. It's like the message is like, don't rock the boat, don't make any big changes. If you get this and then you get the Tower afterwards, you're a bit screwed really, because that won't be comfortable for you. But if it comes after the Tower, then it's a blessing that all will be back to normal again. So I hope that makes sense for you there. So Louise wanted that. Maureen, thank you for your sun explanation. So yeah, so the sun will be the masculine of the moon. The moon is hidden. The moon brings that darker side. The sun lights things up. The sun shows us what's going on. It lights things up for us. The sun is a gorgeous card, wherever my sun is. The sun is a gorgeous card. I get quite a lot of psychic vibe with this one. Quite often the little sunflowers, where are we? The sunflowers in the card quite often represent children to me when I'm working, and the one over here can represent either a child that's been born later on, or from a different dad, or have a different family connection. So there's like a detachment from that children to that children. Not all the time, but sometimes there. He's riding barebacked, that little boy, child. He's riding barebacked, so we don't give a shit, we don't care, I'm just going to go for it. He's young, he's vibrant, he's happy, he's in a good place, he's naked, he's free. And the white horse, or the purity there, although that horse looks a bit sad in this particular deck, but really he's all right. The blooming of the sunflowers, everything's gorgeous, everything's happy there. And it is your conscious mind as well. Consciously you're having fun, consciously you want to connect to your inner child, consciously you can see things now there. So wild and free, not giving a shit and just going for it. So yes, a strong yes card, and obviously a family card as well there. Okay. Hub is a Taurus, and so is 2 of my kids. Well, they probably like things done the right way or their way, so you can remember that, Shona, to do with that. Will you be looking at the minor, Kate? Yeah, I'll be looking at the minor at some point. I'm going to break the minor down, so we'll do like the court cards as one lot, and then we'll start doing the suits as one lot there. Then we'll do the numbers, the 1 to 10. So over the next few weeks, yeah, we'll be bringing it all together there. Okay, my lovelies. So, I don't know what time it is, but that's about it for today's session. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do drop me a message if you want to ask any more questions from it. But listen back, if you missed the beginning, listen back on the Fool's Journey, because the Fool's Journey gives you snippets of what that card means and how it can be brought in to whoever you're reading for, you're reading for yourself, to their reading at the stages that they're at there or that you're at. Another really good tip, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all my top tips on the tarot there, which is Kate May at Modern Day Mystic. But another good tip is to pick a card in the morning. Don't look at it, go about your day, and then in the evening, just before you go to bed, have a look at it and see what happened in that day that connects to that card. And then something that will be specific, and it's always good to have a little story. I've got lots of stories with cards. My favourite one is the Chariot. I'll just tell you that before I go, wherever the Chariot is. And if you can connect a story to the cards, you're going to remember it. Because 78 cards to remember is quite a lot. It's a lot. It took me a long time to remember them, a long time. First of all, for a good year or so, I went out with all my notes, my little book, and I was like, oh, that card in that position means this, and that card in that commission leaves that. And I didn't have a flow to it. I didn't have a craft. It took me quite a few years to put the craft for it. So, you know, if you're learning tarot, don't worry about trying to remember everything at one time. I'm in the middle of creating my own deck, which will have keywords for tarot and astrology on them, and the images are fucking brilliant. I just love them. So I can't wait to be able to show you those. But the little story with the Chariot card. So the Chariot card is called Victory Over Adversity. That's the name, which means overcoming obstacles. So I've got 2 stories, 3 stories. 3, let's go for 3. All with the same meaning. First one, what's that thing? Give us a clue. First one was my cat went missing once, and I can't remember the cards, but I remember this being the outcome. So I thought, well, he's coming home. That's a homecoming card. It's connected to Cancer. Cancerians are homebodies. So I was like, okay, it's a travel card, but it's a coming back home. So I was like, okay, so he'll come back home. And within 10 days, took 10 days, he came back home. So I was like, okay, that's my connecting card. It's a coming back home. And then I was going somewhere, and it was rather dodgy. It was in, wasn't Rome, but it was that way, Italy that way. And everyone was like, oh my God, you know, don't go there, it's going to rough as anything. And so I pulled the cards and got this card. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm coming home safe. And I did, I was fine. And then when me and my partner broke up, I pulled this card and I was like, oh, that's okay, he'll be coming back home. And that was the 3rd time of it. So it's got a real strong homecoming connection. And I've had it before with a client who she was moving house, and it was just one thing after another. I was like, but you'll get there eventually. And she did. Eventually it was all good. So it's about having, being determined, not losing focus, not losing your grip or not being distracted, but having focus and determination. That's what I want, that's where I'm going, and that's what I'm getting done. So the Chariot card for me has got a lovely little story around coming home safely, or things coming back to where you want them to be. So it's good to have little stories with the card. So go about your day, pick one in the morning, go about your day, then in the evening think, what happened to go with that card, and you'll start to remember them a lot more, because it is, there is a lot. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Message me or leave a comment if you want to ask me anything, and I will see you again next week for the next tea and tarot session. Take care, bye.